Hey guys, Chris Senior here, back again from C&H Small Engine for another informative review video. This will be dealing with the machine I got in front of me here. This is a Sears Craftsman Eager 1 model specific right here. We this guy over here, he brought it over here this past couple days ago. He claimed the machine just quit starting or quit running for him. He couldn't give me a exact symptom. He said it quit running. That's all he kept on saying. It quit running. So we checked it out over here, and we noticed he had multiple problems with the machine. The first thing was the actual flywheel keyway on the top of the engine right here. He apparently hit something here in his actual yard out there and knocked the keyway, I'd say about a 1 inch. The actual keyway was on one side of the crank and the other portion was on the other side, so he knocked it out of position by at least about 3/4 of an inch, almost to an inch right there. And we got that taken care of. We checked the actual crank. The crank was straight, so he didn't have any problems with the crank being bent or anything else like that. And the other thing was apparently he had somebody else working on his machine previous to us, and they did not know what to do about specific carb repairs and cleans and stuff like that, because on the actual carburetor assembly down here for that, he had somebody puts white RTV sealant or some kind of white caulking or sealant all along the entire bowl down here, because I think the carburetor might have been leaking, and that's a telltale sign that either somebody does not know what they're doing, because anytime the carburetor is leaking right there, you have to take the carburetor off the machine, you have to clean it out, you have to put a new bowl gasket, new rubber bowl gasket around there in order to do a job right, because apparently the guy had somebody who did not know how to do the job right, and they just did a real Mickey Mouse job on the actual fix. So we had to clean all that stuff up, and we had to soak in gasoline, some carb cleaner for an extended period of time, because the whole entire outer portion of this bowl on here was it just had like the white clear caulking all in the entire outside. We had to try to dissolve that stuff as best as we could before we actually tried to rebuild the thing on here as well too. The other thing was we did have to put a new bowl on the machine as well too, because the old bowl was severely pitted down inside the actual bottom. I'd say right on the actual lip right here, it was all pitted all alongside, so he had to have had water and debris down inside as well too. And the last thing that we found over here was whoever was working on this machine was not competent, because they actually had a MTD blade on the machine. We went ahead and replaced the blade with a brand new blade now, so we have a brand new hop blade on it right now. And the other thing was, you see all these washers this guy put on here. Somebody I think took the adapter off, or excuse the actual blade. Typically most of these machines have a big flat washer on them. This guy who was working on it before us, they got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 big washers on it right now that have to compensate for the original adapter on his machine. So I don't know who was doing that, but he also had a big chunk of wood actually lodged right down inside here. We had to pop that thing out to the guy. I'm assuming he probably hit some kind of a piece of wood or some kind of a stump in his yard. I really don't know what, but he didn't tell me what he actually hit in his yard, so I'm just basically guessing what he did to make the flywheel key get knocked out of position right there for that. So I'll flip it back up here again for you guys. This is a Eager 1 machine. As I said before, this has the we're gonna call it tried and true Tecumseh engine on this machine right here. Overall, this machine is a good machine, to say the least. The guy did not physically abuse on the external portion of it. So you can see that the actual deck is extremely clean. It has a 4.5 horsepower Eager 1 Tecumseh engine, and it's a 20-inch cutting path as well too for that. So I'll give you another shot over on the other side of the machine right here as well too. Here's the actual engine tag right here for that. Sears and Roebuck, fuel SAE 30 weight, and the model number specifically is 143.964500. The date of manufacturer is 6205J for the code. So you have to get the decipher code manual out to find out what that is. Plus also you have to decipher the specific model number and convert it back to the Tecumseh as well too, if you want to look up any kind of parts for this kind of this actual machine here as well too. Here's the actual code, or I should say the actual identification plate tag for the machine here as well too. The actual deck assembly. Here he is, guys. It is a, let me zoom in here a little bit more for you guys right there. 917-386-130 right there for that. So that's the Sears designation for the actual deck and overall general machine. I'll go ahead and fire this thing up here for you guys too. I think I almost forgot to mention, this one does have a throttle on it as well too. Most of the other machines do not have throttles on the machine simply because they do not want the owner and operator to be messing with any kind of controls on them. That's why most of the machines today have auto chokes and auto this and auto that on it, because they do not want the owner or the operator to be messing with any kind of controls on a machine. So you'll also have the control right here. You have the turtle for slow right there, and then you have the rabbit for fast right here for that, so it functions perfectly fine. So I'll go ahead and fire this thing up here for you guys, so bear with me here for a couple seconds. Okay. There you go. Running great. I'll go ahead and gun it up here. Good high speed. Slow speed. So there you go, guys. That's everything about that specific machine here. Overall, it runs great. We did have to change out the oil about 3 times in here because the guy severely had it overfilled. It was up about, I want to call it 3 inches up on a dipstick. These machines only require a max refill capacity of about 20 ounces of oil, guys. I recommend either 10W30 or straight 30 weight oil if you can find it. And that's my recommendation for that. And do not overfill these machines, because if you do overfill them, it will basically whip the oil up almost like butter down inside there, and it'll turn to like chocolate milk, and it'll be full of air bubbles down there, and it will not lubricate your machine properly. So always be aware of the oil level in your machine. I recommend checking the oil level every time you use a machine. Either I say preferably before, so you can make sure you're not going to run your machine with low or hardly any oil in your machine right there for that. So if anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot, feel free to leave me a message here, and I'll try to get back to you probably within 24 to 48 hours. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.